welcome. Look at this new space that we're in. We have Meow is fancy hair. We have a fancy background.
There's plants. So where are we today, Lucy?
We're at a co-working space in the city called Desk Space, and we have kindly been given this space after hours. So I don't think that there might be some ghosts moving around, but otherwise it's just us, and we're trying out this booth setup.
It looks very spacious on here. It's not very spacious.
It's a little bit like a closet.
I can touch both walls easily. It's kind of funny because on TV, the space, like you're very, very close to someone, but it looks far away. But like you can be like invading their personal space, and it looks like on the screen you have heaps of space between you, right?
I never realised that before until now. Until we've been streaming together.
Yeah, it looks like we're across the other side of the room.
I know. It looks like we've got a whole like office desk, situation.
And very excitingly, we thought we'd drop this in.
I'm gonna drop that microphone in.
Do we have chat messages? Is this working?
That's our most important function. We can't do this without the chat. So let's sort that out. Hey, Pranav, it's so nice to see you again. So, Meow, so Pranav, last week it was just me streaming, but usually Meow and I stream together. And Pranav is, I hope you don't mind me saying, but he is a 14-year-old boy in India.
Oh, fantastic.
Who's going through lockdown currently because the Indian government, Pranav told me, has issued this 10-day lockdown. So
we're not streaming on Facebook.
We're not streaming on Facebook.
So please, just give me one moment. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Pranav. Whereabouts in India are you? Because I have some friends over in India, and I was actually looking at commercializing my test in India.
Fantastic.
Would have been really cool, and we still might be. So my coronavirus test, that's like 30 minutes, super easy. Okay, Pranav, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check the settings.
Awesome.
We've got heaps of people on Twitch, but not on Facebook.
Yeah, let's sort that out.
So what I might do is actually, you know what?
Hey, Chuckleberry, what's up?
Is that hold on?
All right, let's sort that out.
Let's sort this out.
And Pranav, you were telling me that the name of the COVID vaccine in India, what was it called again? Was it called COVID Shore? I think it was something like that.
Steve Morello.
Hey, Stephen, nice to have you again.
Let's have a look.
Thank you for all the articles that you've been sending through this week. And Stephen and I have been recently discussing hunter-gatherer diets. And Stephen told me, we have a ghost in the background. Stephen recently alerted me to the fact that hunter-gatherers, their diets are really interesting, and that generally men really have this inclination towards meat. That meat is a favorite part of the hunter-gatherer diet for men, whereas for women it's honey. And I thought that's pretty cute.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And I'd say that's pretty accurate. Not that I often crave honey, but I'm sure if I was in that environment, that's what I'd be excited about. So yeah, Meow's just setting things up. And Pranav says in other countries it is known as, Covishield, that's the name of the one.
AstraZeneca. Yeah, so AstraZeneca is one of the ones that we were going to be using in Australia. I'm just going to make sure.
Yeah, for sure. Do your thing.
Why? It says sending data on.
Ooh, sending data. Okay.
Let's try and switch this off.
Yeah, we'll try that again.
Restart your broadcast. Okay.
Stephen waves. Hello,
I'm just going to make sure, for some reason, our Facebook streaming is not working, and it'd be really cool if we can get that one working.
Sure. Stephen Joe's question. Yes, because last week I didn't stream to Facebook, and it was just Pranav and I hanging out, plus someone called Deadpool 5 from Israel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe what we might do is I'm going to do something slightly different.
Yeah.
I am going to share the stream from Twitch to Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Just share the link. Sounds good. And so, Pranav, what have you been doing in lockdown in India? Have you been watching shows? I know that you love Marvel. Have you seen the new shorts for Loki and what's the name? There's the Scarlett Johansson one, Black Widow. Did you watch those shorts? I watched them.
Are you a fan? Are you a comic book fan?
So, Yeah, Loki's coming soon. I wasn't really like super into Marvel, but I feel like I have been with the new. I really liked WandaVision. I thought that was really fun.
Which one?
WandaVision.
What's WandaVision?
So WandaVision is a story of Scarlet Witch Wanda, who's this one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. There you go, WandaVision, and I really liked the mini-series that Disney created for her, and that sort of brought me back into the Marvel universe. And they did it in such a creative way. They basically went through different sitcom eras in history. So they started her off in the 50s in like perhaps it was like an I Love Lucy style TV setting, and it was in black and white, and we had to sort of figure out as it went along what was happening. So Stephen says, P.S. I read the study wrong. Both men and women in the Hadza tribe like honey most, but there was a difference in the ranking of meat and berries. Okay, interesting. WandaVision plays a major role in Doctor Strange's next movie.
So I was very interested in Doctor Strange. He's like the only one I really, really liked.
Yeah, he's also my favorite. Is he your favorite, Pranav? Guys, who's your favorite Marvel character? I also love Doctor Strange. I love that he's this, I guess in a way he's a bit of a scientist. He's a doctor, right? But I loved his sort of personality and the journey that the movie took him on, sort of spiritual enlightenment. It was cool. Your favorite is Stark first. Why do you like Stark? A lot of people's favorite character is Stark. Why do you like Stark?
Which one's Stark?
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. So Stark is one of my favorite characters from Farscape. Have you seen Farscape?
No.
It's the best science fiction. Highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
Shot in Sydney. It's Star Wars meets Sesame Street. Seriously.
I've never heard of this. What about One Direction? Chuckleberry. What is that? He is cool, humorous, and smart. Yeah, those are all pretty cool characteristics. Or if you were Doctor Strange, you could be enlightened, super genius, helping people. I don't know. Those are my favorite characters.
If you're Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Why do you like Doctor Strange?
Scientist.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's a doctor first, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So I my favorite types of fantasy and science fiction are hard science fiction or hard fantasy.
What does that mean?
So this is basically like how much they explain how the magic works. Because even if it's science fiction, the warp drive is just magic, right?
Yes.
So if they go and they actually and Dr. Strangelove does this a bit, they try and explain how the amulet works and how it bends space-time, and there's a lot of like reasoning behind his magic, right? And that's the stuff I really enjoy. And the Marvel and DC universes, they actually go to quite a lot of effort to explain how all the superpowers work. Stark is obviously the hardest because his stuff, the only thing that's kind of fiction is the arc reactor.
Okay.
Right?
Is that what he wears?
Unlimited source of power, an implantable man. I'm just going to take away.
Woo! Meow.
There we
wow.
go.
I'm getting wild in here.
My
This is
favorite.
becoming a real Twitch stream.
That's
now.
right. My favorite shirt.
Meow Crew Biology. It's the best. Yes. So
The Hulk is good too. The Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
is
thing.
it fusion? No, the arc
It
reactor
was
isn't-
fusion.
Is
It was fusion. Yeah.
It's fusion.
So fusion is the dream. Fusion is the dream.
Yeah, that's the dream. Because I've been I always talk about this, but I've been reading The Three-Body Problem by Liu Cixin.
Yeah.
And in that, the sci-fi, maybe it's also hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
I like it. Sort of goes into how all the technology works, and I feel like I've learned more about technology reading this sci-fi book than I have in real life. Yeah.
All I do for my job, because I'm a scientist, is I take stuff out of science fiction and then try and make it real.
Cool.
Actually.
The
So
coolest. Yeah.
there's a if anyone likes science fiction, there's a very good Australian author named Greg Egan that I highly recommend checking out. Very, very hard science fiction.
Fantastic. I learned more about science reading these books for sure. Yep. So, Stephen Rello also, I like Doctor Strange. Oh, and we've lost him, but...
Who we lost?
Stephen's comment. Oh, we can't get it back.
Once it goes off the bottom, we're done.
Sorry, guys, we get carried away. Love Doctor Strange. The Hulk, because he's smart. Pranav says, meow. Underpowered Hulk character. Prince Planet. No, Prince Planet.
Who's Prince Planet?
Who's that?
I don't know.
I think you mean to say Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. He's our hero. Now, if you could have a superpower, Lucy, what would you have?
Yes, we have talked about this before, and
Oh yeah, what did you say?
so
No.
I was sort of tossing up between three, but I want to ask you. Let me bring it down to. I recently went on the Pottermore website, the Harry Potter website, where you can find out which I just wanted to check whether my house that I was sorted into when I was whatever 15 or 10 is the same as today. I'm still a Gryffindor.
Really?
But they had
Gryffindor. Interesting.
I know, basic bitch Gryffindor.
I didn't say it. We all thought it.
I really like the aspects of Gryffindor. But wait, before I go into what I was going to say, what house do you think you're in?
Slytherin.
Yeah. Why do you vibe Slytherin?
Because I want to kill everyone.
You want to kill everybody?
The dark green arts.
Dark green arts.
That's what I'm about, right? Black hat biotech. I want to I want to make COVID-21.
But you also want to COVID-21.
That's it.
That's right. But you also want to save the world. I feel like that's a Gryffindor quality.
Is it? But isn't Slytherin kind of like they're also like saving the world, but they just also want to like kill people?
Yeah, in their own way. I get it. Yeah.
Is that who I am? Am I Draco fucking Malfoy?
I feel like you're definitely chaotic.
Yeah.
A Slytherin would be chaotic.
Maybe I want to be Slytherin, but I'm actual Hufflepuff or some shit like that. That's probably it. And I like snakes. There you go. Yeah.
And you like snakes. So on that website, one of the questions that you had to answer to be sorted. Let me bring them up. These were the different. Okay. So you had to choose a superpower. I want to see which one that you choose. One second, guys.
Where it will sort me.
Yeah, exactly.
So also, thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the first week that Lucy and I have been in the same space for like over a month. So that's really good. And thank you everyone for tuning in and bearing with us while we were like navigating that. But it's really exciting. And it's nice having a nice microphone. For anyone that hasn't seen this broadcast from my laptop before, I have a very loud fan inside my computer and it annoys everyone. So this is absolute luxury having a little podcast mic.
That's so cool. Good. All right, okay, and Stephen says mind reading. Interesting. But my thing about mind reading is, do you want to, sometimes I'm like, I feel like people's thoughts are their own. They should be private.
No.
Like,
No.
How Slytherin of you.
Is it? No, well, I don't believe in privacy.
Oh.
It's very Chinese of me.
You don't believe in privacy. No. So, in what way? How would that play out?
So it's something that Nathan Waters and I have actually talked a lot about. That privacy is kind of something that's gone now, right? We have Facebook. So, like, Facebook has profiles for you, and it tags you in photos. It knows where your face is. And when Facebook started, it didn't know these things, right? Yeah. But there's these things called shadow profiles, right?
Yes.
So what's this shadow profile? Have you heard of these?
Is this the sort of profile that Google creates for you through your Facebook creates for you through sort of monitoring what you buy, what you like, what you look at?
But also, so all of these things, basically you have a fingerprint on the internet even if you don't have an account.
Wow.
So Facebook knows people who exist before they have an account because they have family members and they're in photos. So they actually create you an account even if you don't.
Is there any point resisting at this point? Like,
I don't think so.
I think to be off the grid.
Well, I think the thing is privacy is fine if everyone can have it, and lack of privacy is fine as long as it applies to everyone. Right? Because at the moment, the only people who really have privacy are people like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Right? Or,
But then he's so famous, he really doesn't have privacy.
But, he can post whatever he wants on Facebook and he can actually delete his account if he wants. So basically with this thing, it's like, well, we don't want politicians to have privacy and us not. We want it to be, it's either all or nothing is my kind of thing. And I'm like, at this point, it has to be, don't worry about privacy. Just allow everyone to have everything.
Okay, interesting.
Level the playing field.
I haven't heard that one before.
I don't make a lot of friends in the hacking community because of it.
Fair enough. And you are very much, guys, if you know Meow, he definitely bears it all. Like, you are very open about everything.
Try to be, yeah. So, yeah. For better or worse. So it's almost 8 p.m. here. It's about dinner time. So if you want to order us a pizza, Pranav, you know where we are.
When did he say that?
I can't believe after all that shit, they're back together. Who's back together?
Who's back together? Is it the Backstreet Boys? Because Backstreet's back, all right.
Amazon 2. It is in May. It's going to be May. It already is now. If you have a problem watching you shower, then you still believe in privacy.
Doesn't make much sense, Butters.
I think it's fine if everyone can watch everyone else shower.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, I feel like bodily autonomy. That's something different. Here are the superpowers that I wanted to ask you before. So, this sorts you into a house within Hogwarts. All right. So 1, the power to change your appearance at will. Okay, like Mystique in X-Men.
Yeah.
The power of superhuman strength.
Like Hulk.
The power to speak to animals.
Like Dr. Harry from Harry's Practice. Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle.
That's the guy. Okay.
The power of invisibility. And there's 2 more. The power to change the past. And the power to read minds. Now, guys, let me know what you choose as well.
What would you choose out of that?
So my instinct was to be able to change. I think Mystique's really cool, and I love how she can just change things up. And so originally her, but then I thought, oh wait, is that superficial of me? Because
well, it's for social engineering, you can do a lot. Like if you could make yourself look like Scott Morrison, you could go and do a lot of good, right? Which is not superficial at all. You could go on the cameras and say, I love refugees. I'm going to open up the borders with India. Like you could, and he would have to kind of like get all this good press and then decide whether he wants to keep the policy or not, or you just kill him and take his role.
Can we talk about the negative and the good part of each power?
Okay. So what's the first one?
The power to change your appearance of will. So you could replace politicians and you could say certain things.
Yeah, but that's not what you do.
Yeah, what would you do?
Probably make myself.
You'd be a girl.
I'd be a girl. I'd be a porn star, like straight up. So,
you'd be a girl. Yeah. I love it.
I'd start with that. I think everyone has to do that little thing a little bit, right?
Right.
But after that, I think I would probably use it for nefarious purposes. Like I'd look like a bank manager, go in, take all the money. Because a lot of this is about like what are your goals and how does this help you achieve your goals?
Exactly.
So like looking like Elon Musk would be awesome because I could go into like SpaceX and play with spaceships. Looking like Bill Gates, I could go and divorce my wife.
Right. Yes. And because I'm just thinking with that power, it'd just be more for fun. Like, so like there aren't, I mean, you could be like a secret agent, I suppose, like, but otherwise what jobs could you get? Yeah.
Doppelganger. Body double.
Yeah, body double, maybe. So because also my thought with all these powers is, okay, financial security, how can I
get it?
This is always my thought, I think. I'm like, can I make this into a job? Okay.
Say it again. So was the power to change your appearance at will, but you could change yourself into a giant hammer if you wanted to, couldn't you? Or is it just a person?
I think we're going in the Mystique guidelines, so different people.
Because like, what if I could make my fingers really long and I could go and like get people's keys that have fallen down into a drain or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. The stretchy guy in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if I could make my finger into a key and if someone got locked out of their house, I could go and like.
yeah, I'm putting that down. And Pranav, I can see the part about your past. You'd like that time one, but I think there might be a negative to that one. We'll come to that one. So the power of superhuman strength. Yeah. This is the one I chose in the end.
Really? I thought this is the most superficial.
So basic, like it's like, oh, you can lift things, but I thought I could help people in like natural disasters. I could,
How often do you have a natural disaster that needs superhuman strength?
I don't know. Like, you're trying to move away the rubble and there's been a landslide.
You could punch Scott Morrison.
Punch the tsunami backwards. Yeah, I know it's sort of basic, but I actually thought, because the other thing is, if you have any of these powers, my other concern is that the government's going to want to capture you at some point and experiment on your DNA.
But if you have superhuman strength, you can punch them away.
Maybe.
Super Marvel Lushess.
I love that, Pranav. Yes, bring it. Okay, the power to speak to animals. Okay, here's the thing. That sounds really cool, but what if the only things that animals want to say is, I'm hungry, or, like, I need to sleep. Like, what if animals are really boring?
What about if they don't do your bidding? Like, you're like, hey, dog, can you please, like, go to the toilet outside? And it's like, no, because I hate you. Like,
I feel like, animals could just be really annoying friends. Like,
and even though you can speak to them, they still have the same brain, so it might be really difficult. Like, you're like, hey, dog, go over there. And it's like, I don't understand English. Right? Like, or like the concept of like there doesn't exist. Or like, you know, like.
Too many problems with that superpower.
And how big an animal can you speak to?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
thinking ant. But we can
Ant?
put it to insects.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ant's just like,
That's
I
fuck-
just want to build my, home,
Mm.
bring food back for the queen. Like, they're boring,
Yeah, what about if I want to speak to a fucking tardigrade?
A tardigrade. Ask
Yeah.
them the secrets of the universe.
There we go.
But they have nothing to say.
They have nothing to say because they're tiny little mouths. They don't move. I can speak to them. They can't speak to me. It doesn't say I can. It says the power to speak to animals. It
To
doesn't say
animals.
the power of animals to speak to you. Right?
it's
It might be a
implied.
one-way exchange, which I can already do. You know, I can go home and I can speak to animals. They don't understand what I'm saying, but I can speak to them.
We already have this superpower. That is
What about
so
speaking
funny.
any language? So what about polyglot?
Oh, that'd be so great. Stephen, what a cool power. I would love that power. We could solve world issues. Because I think, when you learn a language, you're missing so many cultural understandings. So, for example, with Chinese, learning Chinese for ages, and just like vocabulary and grammar, that's all important. But there's so much cultural language within how you sit and how you respond. Oh, hey, ahoy from Germany, Herr Olfsen.
Herr Olfsen.
That's so nice. Welcome.
So we're talking about superpowers at the moment.
Yeah.
And we've decided the power to speak to animals, not quite as powerful as it could be.
Lame. So lame.
Okay, what's the next power that we're going to look at?
The power of invisibility.
Okay, this is the one I would probably take.
Yes.
Yeah, like so it's a bit nefarious to be able to very voyeuristic to be able
Yeah.
to watch what people are doing.
Yeah.
But I think as well, you could do a lot of things like get access to areas that you shouldn't have access to, which you could do a lot of good with. Say, for example, if government was making policy about refugees, you might be able to sneak in the office, take it out, snap a photo, and then leave, and then leak that to the media.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And that's what you would do with. That's what you do with invisibility, I think.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But also, I think it would be. Is it you're always invisible, or can you turn it on and off?
I feel like people wouldn't like you as well for this power because
No.
they're just like, oh, this is just going to be. Yeah, I don't feel like it can be a fun power. People aren't going to really
No,
like
you kind of have to cover yourself in spray paint or something so that people can see you.
Yeah.
And also, I don't understand how invisibility works. Like, if I eat food, is the food invisible? If I put clothes on, are the clothes invisible? Or is it just like
We'll have to ask someone with invisibility. Yeah.
maybe they're here already?
Maybe they're here. Amazing. The next one is the power to change the past. Now, Pranav, you wanted this power, and also Herr Olfsen, tell us what your favorite superpower, if you could have one, would be. But the power to change the past, what about the butterfly effect? What if you change, something small and you have a different life than what you have today? It could be better, but it could be worse. What a gamble. What do
I
you
would just go
think?
back and change my Bitcoin balance from 2011
Yeah.
to more.
Little change. That's all I'm going to do.
But this is the Doctor Strange power, right? Like, this is the ability to change space and time. But you can just go and change it back too, right? If you fuck it up.
I suppose so. We don't know how sensitive the universe is, do we?
And also there's a theory that the timeline is kind of like it wants to be a certain way. And when you do things that modify that, it tries and it readjusts itself to be as close to that as possible. It's like a science fiction-y kind of thing. There's a really good episode of Star Trek Voyager
Yes.
called The Year of Hell. And it's a time travel episode about changing the past.
Cool.
And it's a cautionary tale. But I think it's in this he basically says that time's a bitch. And that maybe you can change a lot of stuff except the stuff you care about because the universe has like a warped sense of humor. And if you go and try and bend the rules, it doesn't like you bending it, so it does all these things to kind of stop you from changing it. So maybe you can change everything but the one thing you care about.
Wow.
And I feel like all these powers should actually come with caveats, right?
Yeah.
It's like that episode of Rick and Morty where he gives away, cursed items or enchanted items, and it's like, shoes that make you run faster than any person, but you have to run until you die of exhaustion. And I think these are better, right? Because it's like, is the penalty worth the benefit? Just how to change the past. It's its own problem.
Yeah, I love that episode. Pranav, you would change the past, and in the future, my name will become as a founder as a big company, like in Hot Tub Time Machine, that movie. That's right. You have to consider side effects, Herr Olsen, and I would end the pandemic by changing the past. But you're only 14. Are you going to get over to China? What are you going to do? We don't even know how it started. So.
I think what would happen is that a pandemic even worse would come just afterwards.
Yeah, this has been generally, because we've known that a virus is going to come at some point.
A coronavirus too.
And a coronavirus.
People have like pointed this out for a long time.
That's right.
2 years ago, someone pointed out the exact mutations that it would need.
Wow.
Before it did this, yeah.
That's right. And there's been documentaries I've been watching for ages about how this, will eventually happen. And COVID's been relatively safe in regards to the death toll. So
it could like if SARS-1, for example, which hit China, it's like it was 30 to 40% mortality rate.
Wow, that's
which is
too
huge.
high.
But things are still terrible. Like if you're in India right now or America, things are rough. But they could have been a lot worse as well. So.
Teleportation, for example, you could be everywhere you want to be, but you would leave a vacuum where you were and render everyone around you deaf, and it's impossible.
Or maybe it's teleporting as like a phone, right? Like you need to swap with something. Right?
Yeah.
So
Matter must be moved.
Because maybe you take the air from where you were going to go and you swap it.
Yeah.
But maybe it could be like, what about if it was really smelly somewhere and you swap? And then you leave behind this awful smell.
That's hilarious.
There you go.
Indian astrology says that some gurus said pandemic will come. He said it many years ago. Okay. And the longer you use time travel, the more quickly your body degrades. Seems like a good trade-off. For example, aging faster, getting cancer. I would just never use it.
Wouldn't you?
I feel like we're aging so quickly anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I would time travel to the place that got a cure for aging and cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. You're such a scientist.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Scientist. I love that. All right, and then the final one, the power to read minds.
This is pretty good. Can you switch it on and off?
We'd hope so.
Because I think that the penalty should be that you can't switch it off, so you hear what everyone thinks of you, whether you like it or not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't see how that would be a pro to have that all the time.
No, it would be very useful if you wanted to like make a lot of money and like if you're selling stuff and some guy's like, I won't pay more than this. You're like, okay, how about I will just give it to you for this.
So it's only good for like business and stuff. How lame.
It could be. Maybe it's nice if you want to find out if someone has a crush on you or something like that, but I feel like the amount of times it's useful pales in compared to the amount of times it's not very useful. Yeah.
Well said.
Like we don't say a lot of stuff for good reason.
Yeah.
Right. It's just
Pranav. Yeah, everyone will be honest with you. No lies. Sometimes it's good to lie.
Sometimes it is very good.
You know.
Sometimes as well. Maybe you don't give people the whole truth. Like if someone says, you know, do I look good in this dress? You might say like, oh, it's not my favorite. If you hate it, right?
Like I know if it makes them happy, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, you know, so even if it's not my favorite, like, what does that matter to me? It matters that they enjoy it.
My ex had a pair of pants, and I was like, I looked at them like, they are disgusting. They are horrible, and it actually made her hate them.
Oh, because you didn't like them.
Because I didn't like them so much.
Yeah, I think we can be quite impressionable like that.
Whereas if I'm kind of like not fussed by it, I might just say, oh, you know what, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
And even if I don't like it, because their enjoyment is more, it means more to me than my own aesthetic care.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. Like you can go to the KFC owner and read his mind and steal his secret recipe powder.
I reckon we can almost steal the 11 secret herbs and spices with all of these powers.
Super strength.
The power to change your appearance at will. Turn into the Colonel Sanders and then walk in and say, please give me the recipe for 11 secret herbs and spices.
Nice.
The power of superhuman strength.
You're going to break in to the secret laboratory where they keep the recipe. The laboratory.
Take the 11 secret herbs and spices. The power to speak to animals. Speak to the chicken. What are you coated in?
Oh, that's so good.
The power of invisibility.
Yeah, you just go and watch them. Yeah.
Power to change the past. Go and make your own 11 secret herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's just all chicken salt.
It's MSG.
It's
the
MSG.
best.
What would you have as your 11 herbs and spices?
I love MSG.
MSG is
It's
so good. Seriously, one teaspoon of that. It's just any food. 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon. So MSG.
I crave salt on the daily. So
Salt?
we can have extra salt, even
Salt
though
3
MSG
times.
is like salt. Yeah. What else do we enjoy?
Chicken salt.
Chicken salt again.
MSG.
Wait, MSG is basically chicken salt.
Right now we've got 5 really good herbs and spices.
Yeah.
So we've got spices. We need
What
herbs.
else have we got?
What herbs would you use?
I love.
They've got to work together though.
Yeah.
Oregano.
What are you thinking? Oregano, sure.
It can go in.
Yeah, sure.
Far out. Basil.
Basil?
Why not? Cumin. Chuck it in. Coriander. Why not?
Yeah, coriander.
Fucking coriander.
Because some people aren't going to enjoy coriander.
That's
remember.
right.
Some
I
people
I think,
like
and
it.
then let's put a herb, another good herb in. Bit of garlic. No, onion powder. Onion powder.
Actually, yeah, I'd go all garlic. Oh,
Just
God.
12 garlic.
There's never enough garlic.
Never enough garlic.
There's never enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pin numbers and
So
parts.
basically, we've worked out which superpowers are best for stealing the herbs and spices.
Yes. All right.
Okay, so knowing about other people's patents before they're out would actually be very, very useful. And this touches on a really interesting area of technology. I don't know if you've heard about it before. It's called corporate espionage. So have you heard about this?
Yeah. Well, I know what it is as a concept, but how does it come into play?
So my friend ran a business where they take satellite imagery, and businesses use this for corporate espionage.
Oh.
Satellites,
I'm just
right?
monitoring this man as a kid, just to check these. Yeah, my bag's there. All
So,
good.
so what
Yes.
what companies will do is like Pepsi will buy satellite imagery
Satellite imagery. Yep.
of Coca-Cola's factories,
Yes.
and they'll count how many trucks come out per day, and then from that they'll be able to work out how many deliveries they have,
Yep. Sorry.
and how many bottles of Coke they're making, and from this they can work out all this other stuff.
Oh, just by monitoring. Yeah.
The amount of trucks.
The trucks that are coming.
You
in
could
and
pay
out.
someone to just sit there and just tick it off.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Corporate
I
espionage.
they're strong enemies. Those guys. So yeah, I can see how they'd go down to like minimal levels
Yeah,
of pettiness and
that's it.
espionage. Yeah.
What would you do if you were in charge of Pepsi? How would you screw over Coke?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Marketing strategies. Oh no, corporate
you?
espionage.
I would go and I would send all my workers in there to work for Coca-Cola instead of Pepsi, and I'd pay them all more to do a
Yeah.
really bad job.
Just to do a bad job.
Really
so
bad
not
job.
to steal their secrets.
No,
just to
just
do a
work
crappy
at
job.
75% efficiency.
Yeah. I feel like the long game is always the way with these things. Like
Yeah.
not short game, it's long game. So
That's right.
I'd go long game.
I would, if I was going to go long game, I would get them all to call it Pepsi instead of Pepsi, but until every single person, even the CEO, he's like Pepsi. I mean Pepsi, because he's just heard it so many times.
Pepsi.
Secretly add cocaine to the Pepsi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there are so many things these days. Like for example,
That would work very well.
vaccines, they're a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's almost been like a marketing case against them. Like I'm sure you could apply the same sort of thing to places like Coca-Cola. Sorry, I left my bag on this desk, and I feel bad for this guy.
Do you want to go
Sorry.
grab it?
No, I think it's okay.
Do we want to let's security
all
camera
good.
watch him? Just let's hold on.
Oh,
We'll just keep an eye on him. There we go.
Together we can all.
Okay.
What was I? Okay, so what was I talking about?
You are gonna add cocaine to the Pepsi.
No. What was I saying?
Long game. What were you
Long
saying?
game.
No, after this.
I distracted myself. It's all good. He's gone. All right. Corporate espionage.
Corporate espionage.
I've completely
We're done?
forgotten.
Okay, so maybe we need to move the camera back, and then you think about what you're thinking about before.
Yeah.
What was it? It was actually good. Anyway, Matrix-like
I thought
downloads.
so.
If you could download anything to your brain, what would you download?
That's right. So okay. So
Because this is within
there's-
the realms of being able to happen in the next 10 years, right?
Yes, with Elon Musk's
Neuralink
Neuralink. That's
can-
right. That's right. So what I was saying was that there's been in a way, people like Pete Evans have, by the way, he's an
Campaigns.
Australian guy who's like, vaccines are bad, different medicines are bad. So
Paleo diet is good. That's
sure
his
we can-
famous thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Paleo diet.
Paleo diet.
Caveman diet.
That's right. And I'm sure we could apply that to Coke and Pepsi in the same way. You just have influencers, because influencers seem to dominate the market these days, and although public opinion more so than politicians, you just come out and be like, guys, Coca-Cola made my baby grow an extra toe. You know, I feel like that's how you do it. Because there are so many health nuts around now.
But you have to do something that's not really like provable, right?
Yeah, yes.
Like a lot of these things, they're like, you know, they're like, oh, my aunt, she died of cancer or something. But if you really wanted to, you could kind of like say like which hospital and find out these things. I think it's going to be like, I had Pepsi and I couldn't find a car park. But you get everyone to do it and it's like unverifiable. Right?
What a funny thing. I couldn't find a car park.
Yeah, but just something like that that's random and everyone goes, fuck, you know, and it's got confirmation bias. So everyone's like drinks their Pepsi and then they can't find a car park and they're like, it's because of the Pepsi, right?
Yeah,
But it
the
reinforces
Pepsi,
it. The
say it
Pepsi. Time, when you couldn't work it out, Pranav says, time travel back.
Oh, no, I didn't
There you
say it.
go.
You're right, Pranav.
Change the past.
Oh.
Yeah, I reckon you got to make it something like really low. Like remember that movie, where they were like, we're gonna try and be famous, so we'll just be like something that nobody knows who it is, and we're just gonna say we invented Post-it notes.
Yes.
Romy and Michelle's
Romy
high
and
school.
Michelle's high school reunion.
So it's like,
Classic.
and like, they're like nobody knows who made Post-it notes.
Yeah,
You have to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where no one can prove it. So
I had my high school reunion recently, and I was thinking that I would show up. Like, I took inspiration from Romy and Michelle, and I was like, what if I showed up in like an astronaut outfit? And obviously, everyone knows I'm not an astronaut, but people would be like, "How have you going? How's it been?" I'd be like, "Just been back to been to Mars, come back," and I thought that would make people laugh.
yeah, you need to be a taikonaut because no one knows about the Chinese space program, and you just be like, I'm part of the Chinese space program.
Yes. And that's popping right now. Chinese space program is
What is
popping.
Tenet?
Tenet is a movie, Christopher Nolan, and it's his most recent movie. And so he also made the Batman films with what's his name? What's the name of the guy who's acting it? Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
He's
He's got that. He's a raspy.
Tenet has
voice.
He has a beautiful
Batman.
voice. He's a Batman.
Yeah.
And so Tenet is fantastic. It's about, how would we describe it, Pranav? It's the ability to sort of move through time. Don't want to give away too much of the plot.
Yeah.
But you can move like backwards. I don't
You
know
can
how to say it.
push rewind.
They've got these machines that you can go into, and then you can go into time, but time's sort of playing in reverse. So you can go and influence things, in reverse.
Become an influencer.
Yeah, you can catch bullets instead of shooting them. Yeah.
What'd you catch them with?
With a gun.
Catch them with a gun?
Yeah.
I wouldn't catch them with a gun. I reckon I'd
Because
catch them with a
you shot
baseball
them.
bat. A baseball glove.
But it has to originate from somewhere,
Yeah.
the bullet, so you can shoot it, but you can sort of catch it.
But
anyway.
but wouldn't it be more amazing if I caught it in a baseball glove and then I push play and then the bullet shoots out of the baseball glove? Because no one would suspect that. No one would suspect that, right?
I love this power that Stephen said. The comments gone, but it
Matrix
was reading
file.
quarterly science reviews without falling asleep.
Yeah, beautiful.
What a superpower.
Just being able to like all that boring shit like accountancy and quality management, just download boring subjects to my brain. I can't do it. Seriously, I would literally rather put a nail through my hand than read another quality manual.
Oh, I bet. And that's why you just end up trying to figure it out yourself, because you're like, I don't want to read the manual. It's so boring.
Yeah.
You don't have, what's it called when you can read things and memorize it instantly?
No, I have the opposite of that. I'm dyslexia. I think I have alcohol-induced dyslexia.
Wow.
But actually, I've been dyslexic since I was really young, but I never got diagnosed.
I didn't know you're dyslexic.
Only a little bit though.
Dyslexic.
So when I was a kid, I used to see each line of text go further back into the page, and I thought that was just normal. But it's actually a mild form of dyslexia. And when I was in university, I was drinking heaps. I lost the ability to be able to look at the order of words in a sentence. So I had to cover up everything except one line, read it manually, and then think about that sentence and then process it. And I stopped drinking, and I can read now. It fucking takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So it still takes you a lot of time, because when I see you read things on here, like the comments, no problem, right?
Yeah, that's right. But I read really slowly as well. So when I read books or that, I have everything black on white background because I can't read the other way.
Oh, I see. I see. That's fantastic. Well,
I would love to have photographic memory to just be able to look at stuff and just
I love your brain. It's you have so many interesting quirks and things, but none of them are disabilities to you. You really make them all work more than the average person.
We'll see. We'll see. I think this is
And
something.
question, with the alcohol-induced stuff, was it a day after you'd had alcohol or just during drinking alcohol?
Well, I didn't really take a day off drinking alcohol during university. So, Stephen watched the episode. It was called The Voyager Conspiracy, where Seven, the Borg, so she's got cybernetic implants, she could download all the information. So she decided to plug the ship's history, all the cameras, all the information directly into her brain to try and figure out some very, very difficult problems. But then she started finding patterns that weren't there. So what she did was, so we think about this, just 1 second, I'm just going to quickly zip through. So with, one of the big problems, we see this with machine learning, is the signal to noise ratio, right? So what is noise and what is signal? So if we get a screen of static on a TV screen, you can point a camera at it and say to the computer, find the patterns. And it will find dogs and all sorts of stuff in there, right? And,
so it's like the deep AI?
Yeah, it's looking for patterns. Basically, it's trying to push the signal higher and the noise down. It's saying there are patterns everywhere. But you can show it stuff without patterns and it still finds the patterns, right? The trick is working out where that is. And in this episode, basically, Seven found some patterns that maybe or maybe didn't exist, and she tried to convince the rest of the crew that maybe there's a big conspiracy going on. Wow. And you will have to watch the episode to find out whether there was or not.
These episodes sound fantastic.
Star Trek's good.
Pranav, that's something that you can watch while you're in lockdown as well, Star Trek. I know it's like a sort of like an older series, but I think there's a lot of value in it.
Start with Next Generation, then Voyager, then Deep Space Nine, then Enterprise, and then you're done.
And Stephen says, I'm dyslexic too, undiagnosed, but I got lots better with practice. If I'm tired, I split up. But Stephen, you're brilliant. You're brilliant at absorbing information.
Because he has to work harder for it.
Information. Oh.
Doesn't take it for granted.
Wow.
Like all these what's the opposite of a dyslexic? Neurotypical? I don't know.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Is it neurotypical? I don't know.
Okay.
Best episode. So best episode of Voyager, I reckon, Year of Hell. That's my. Actually, no, Tuvix, then Year of Hell. We're gonna watch. What we should do. I've just finished moving house, which is why I wasn't here last week. I've got an attic space. Yeah. When internet gets connected there, we'll have to have a stream, and we'll just power watch Voyager.
Okay. All right.
And we'll go through some of the best. Sheldon's favorite show is Star Trek.
Yeah, he's cool. And gaming, you can improve your hand-eye coordination and also your eyesight as well. With gaming, there's also been proven in studies that, especially games like Call of Duty, where you're practicing spotting enemies like within the environments of the game, your eyesight will actually improve. Isn't that cool?
Viet Cong up in the trees.
Yeah.
So there's actually some interesting. There's some therapeutic video games, especially with virtual reality. So there was a company I was working with that was in the same building as me over in San Francisco, and they were correcting people's lazy eyes.
Wow.
What they did was they have the TV screens over both your eyes, and in a lazy eye, your one half of your brain doesn't use that eye. So it's the opposite, right? So the left side of the brain looks at the right eye, the right side of the brain looks at the left eye. It just switches off and you just use one eye.
Oh, okay.
And the other eye is literally lazy. It's just like doing nothing.
Yeah.
So what they do is they change the amount, the focus and the intensity of each of the screens until your eyes both work the same amount.
That works?
That they can do it. And the guy who did it, he had a lazy eye. So he's like, fuck, it only affects 3% of the population. He's like, I'll never be able to sell this. He found an investor with a lazy eye.
Oh.
Investor gave him a shit ton of cash.
But why doesn't that work with normal like daily life with this? Like, why would... So one was... can you describe? So one lens was improving what, the stimulation? What?
So basically it made one image out of focus and one image in focus, or you had to bring it in, or it decreased the amount that was there. So basically the problem is you have one eye that works very hard, so hard that it makes up for the other eye.
Yes.
They basically have a video game that undoes that by making your lazy eye work harder.
But you said in the first place it's not active, so...
Yeah, basically they switch off one thing and then you just use the eye that's not active.
I'm just curious how they turn it on and how that's different to daily life.
Yeah, basically you can, I think it was about focus.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like with and I think they decrease the brightness of one thing. I can find the startup.
Yeah, sorry, no, it's not your startup. I'm asking too many questions.
Very, very interesting. There's a therapeutic aspect that you can do VR to help yourself, like wearing glasses. You can do this, and there's some more stuff as well, which is brain-computer interfacing. So with people with ADHD that have problems with attention, attention is measured by alpha waves. So one of the games that I've played, my friend Peter Simpson Young did it. Is they put...
I know Peter Simpson Young. He's great.
Yeah, so he told me about this, and I think he might have brought it along to one of our biohacks. Basically, put on an EEG, and it measures your alpha waves, and the more alpha waves you have, the more powerful your gun is in the game. Oh. So the more you concentrate, the easier the game gets, which is really
cool. I want to ask Peter. I want to try that. I was at a party with Peter recently, and he was so funny. He's such a scientist. Before the party, he sent messages to everyone saying, to the people who'd be at the house, who already lived there, and they were inviting their friends. He sent messages to them saying, "Hi guys, there are people who are going to come tonight, and maybe they're a bit socially anxious, they don't know everybody. So I've created a chat where we can each post their interests and likes, so that once you meet them, you can help introduce them to other people with similar interests and likes." Like, he developed this whole strategy as to how to make everyone feel comfortable at the party. And the other thing that happened was that there were these 2 cakes, and once they came out, he said, "Attention everybody, this cake needs to be divided into 27 pieces individually, so please only take 1/27th of the cake because so it can be shared equally." I thought that was so cool. I love Peter.
I went to a COVID lockdown, one of his parties.
Yes.
And everyone had to give a short introduction so we could know what each other's likes were.
Yeah.
And I just made a PowerPoint presentation while I was waiting and gave that. So that's me.
You scientist.
I found it the other day. I was called Meow, an introduction.
Introduction.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So we're missing all your comments. I'm sorry. All right, let's go from the bottom.
They're chatting amongst themselves. So
okay, no worries. Lushess, we have a museum here which has a game. There is a ball on a track. 2 people sit on the opposite sides of the track. You both get wired up to the brain and can move the ball to the opposing player by calming your brain. You lose when the ball is at your end of the track.
Competitive meditation.
It's competitive meditation.
That's what we need some more of.
Wow. God, I feel like I'd be terrible at that. I try meditating daily and I'm so bad.
Yeah, I get obsessed for like a week and then I just give it up. That's the problem.
You're like, I'm going to change my life every day, 10 minutes meditation, going to change my life, and then no.
I know people who swear by it, but I'm like, I don't have time for meditation.
You don't have, we're talking about
busy.
You don't have time.
Too busy. And they're like, oh, but you'll be more effective. No.
Just no.
No.
I'm already as powerful as I can be.
You get really excited when you're about to win and the ball will roll towards your end.
Oh, because you've lost concentration.
You have to keep like...
Yes, you have to be so zen.
Who would win out of us?
I feel like I'd be terrible.
You
I think
would
you would
smash
win.
me.
Like, you would win.
How about Herr Olfsen, fly us to Germany.
Herr Olfsen, yes.
We're going to sit in the museum and we'll compete.
We will be the worst ever place. A ball won't even move.
It's just so excited backwards and forwards.
Because I get so excited, you get so excited, yeah. In our house, our parents scold me for not doing yoga. Since then, I'm doing it daily. Pranav yoga is so good for you. I feel like it's a good way to meditate because you're actually focusing on things.
Do you know yoga is in Australian Sign Language?
What is it?
I think it's like this.
And I know you're not allowed to teach me,
yeah,
so I'm just teaching myself.
No, I'm allowed to teach you a little bit.
Okay.
If deaf people watch our feed,
right arms.
Something like this. Because it's like the chakras.
The chakra, right? The chakra or chakra? Is it Pranav? Is it chakra or chakra? I'm asking you.
Maybe it was like
Indian
this, like this, something like this.
Wow.
So yeah.
Keep up the yoga, and also you'll be so flexible. And men in general aren't that flexible, so keep up the yoga. It's really good for you.
Hey, we've got 100 messages. Woohoo!
Fantastic.
Thanks
so much.
Thanks very much, guys. That's how always we're like cheering when that happens.
That's our benchmark.
So.
Interesting, but I don't remember suppressing it. However, in the last year or so, I've started to use my left hand to increase brain plasticity. E.g., I brush my teeth with my left hand now when I remember, and use 2 shavers using both hands.
I've got a challenge for you with this. Whenever you can't do something the first time you try it with your right hand, immediately try it with your left hand.
Wow, really?
Some things I've found, it's really bizarre. Especially I was learning card tricks. And it was one of the things in there. They said, try it with your left hand if you can't get it with your right. Now, there's certain card tricks I can only do with my left hand, and I'm very right-handed.
Yeah. Right.
But I used to do contact juggling, and I'd have to train 5 times as hard at least on my left hand as I did on my right hand.
Wow.
sit there for hours.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, but it's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
Also, I've decided I'm going to grow butterflies. This is my new thing.
Cool.
I've got an attic. I'm going to keep butterflies.
Lovely.
And there's not very many butterfly houses around. There's like one in Australia I know of.
Oh.
Coffs Harbour. There's like one in
Yeah.
Dubai.
They're called butterfly. They're like butterfly zoos, I think.
Something Avery, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
What is it called? What would you call it?
A butterflium. A butterfly zoo.
Flyarium?
A butter.
Yeah.
Just a butt.
A butt? What about...
A butterflium.
It's got to be nice. It's got to have a nice airiness to it.
Yeah. Butterflavoury.
Butterflavarium. That's pretty good. Flavoury?
Yeah. Butterflavor.
Butterflavoury. Do you know the stuff that they use to make butter-flavoured popcorn?
Butter flavoured popcorn. It's not butter?
No.
What is it? Or is it coconut oil?
No.
No, what?
Flavicol.
What is flavicol?
Flavicol is the most delicious stuff on the planet.
Yeah?
People get addicted to it.
Oh,
There's
it's
a
good.
medical condition
Oh.
for people that have damaged themselves because they like this too much.
Flavicol.
Do you know what it's called?
What is that?
Popcorn lung. Popcorn lung. There's people. So basically, there's this fucking chemical, flavicol. I forget the actual name of it. If someone wants to look it up, they're more than welcome to. Diacetyl is the name of the chemical. Flavicol is its brand name, but diacetyl is the thing. They put it in the vapes to make them taste delicious, and it's contraband. I used to vape it because I love the taste of this. It's buttery, right?
I would like to know what else it's in. So what's it called?
It's in everything. It's in cigarettes too. Flavicol, right?
Flavicol.
My ex, one of my exes worked at the cinema, and she would put this stuff all over the popcorn. But there's been cases of people in America who got addicted. They would get 3 bags a day, and they would open it, the microwave popcorn.
It's a salt, a flavicol salt.
We should get some. It's not hard to get. It's about
Butter salt
really
flavour.
dangerous. What they would do is they would open the bag, and they would huff the bag.
Oh.
And after like 10 years, they got popcorn lung. It's irreversible. It irreversibly damages your lungs. But imagine something that's that delicious that you choose it over air.
Oh my god.
Why do I need air?
Duh.
Oh, what? So I can breathe. The only reason I'm breathing is so I can live to eat more flavicol.
Flavicol. And it's like flavour is even in, I'm looking it up. It's like even in the name, it's Flava, flavour. Flavicol. I'm just curious if it's in anything else. So
If you have a kid, you should name it flavicol. That's a gangster name.
Flavicol. Anyway, I'm not oh yeah, so due to yoga your anger is gone. I'm happy to hear that. That's a good way
I
of
don't think so.
managing
I think it makes me more angry doing yoga.
when you get frustrated at things
Yeah.
because you can't do it.
I don't like exercising.
I know. But you told me recently you did some exercise.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, no.
I did lots of exercise carrying shit up and down my stairs.
I have some shit to say.
Oh.
Okay. So
prepare
she ready.
yourself.
She ready.
She ready.
I've studied. Okay, so I was talking about now. Did you watch the stream from last week?
No, I've been so busy.
Pranav knows. So I talked all about exercise and exercise evolution, and the reason why we don't want to exercise. And look, I'll just summarize it now. But the hunter-gatherers, so there's this guy called Daniel Lieberman, he's a professor of evolutionary biology at Harvard. And he went and studied one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes that are still operating on Earth, the Hansa people of Tanzania. And he studied them and their exercise regimes, right? They sit around for 8 to 10 hours a day.
I'm basically them.
Like this is and we have
So
in fact
hunter, gatherer, procrastinator is like part of it, right?
Yeah, and because we had this
So they
mistaken
sleep for 8 hours.
on I think they sleep for, I'm not sure, probably around 8 hours.
And then
And they just
procrastinate
sit.
for 8 hours, and that
Yeah.
gives them 8 hours of work.
And then they
right?
have about an hour, 15 minutes a day where their heartbeat is above 50%. So where they're doing moderate to vigorous physical activity,
Yeah.
and then maybe they're climbing a tree or they're doing a bit of persistence hunting. And so, yeah, basically, they're not, because we think of as hunter-gatherers, they're like running around all day, they have to survive off the land.
Beating animals
you know,
to death with a
totally.
stick, chasing a
Yeah.
cheetah.
Yes.
That's why the caveman diet, it's like, well, it's fine to eat whatever you want as long as you have to chase the animal to kill it. But it sounds like No, Pete Evans is wrong.
Well, what they found was interesting. So they did do 8 to 10 kilometers of walking a day, and that's just walking around. But it's generally pretty relaxed. It's walking. It's not sort of high intensity. And the other thing was we have when you see an escalator and some stairs, which one are you going to choose to walk up to get to the gym?
Yeah.
You're going to choose escalator.
Yeah, of course.
Like 99% of people will choose escalator. Because, and it's not because we're lazy, because people say that, like, oh God, humans so lazy, why would you do that? But we need to stop guilting and shaming each other for these choices, because we've evolved to want to save our energy. And that's demonstrated by the hunter-gatherer people and their constant resting, because generally the equation is energy in, babies out. So if we're spending our energy on exercise, that's not good for evolution.
No.
That's so we want to save that energy, and there's not a lot of food around maybe. So that's why we have evolved to choose the escalator. We don't need to feel guilty or shame ourselves for not wanting to do exercise.
I never feel guilty for picking the escalator.
Totally.
Yeah.
However, people who are and there's
I feel guilty about climate change. That's what I feel guilty about.
Yeah.
But not about the exercise. But I
you did cause climate change. Yeah. So.
Always. But I think it's right. All of us can feel less guilty for the next week.
Yeah.
Make some babies.
And the other things, and it had some interesting other stuff to say that I thought was really interesting. One of them was that, some of us get this serotonin release when we do exercise. And all the really fit people talk about. They're like, nah, doing exercise, you get a great high, bro.
Endorphins.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
But you're only, we've evolved to only reach that high if we're fit already. So people who are actually obese, they won't get that serotonin hit. So it's actually harder for people who are obese to lose weight than it is for fit people. So the journey's even harder for them. So we shouldn't shame obese people, because it's really hard. And the ways that we should exercise. So, the question of the day is, okay, but we are in a society where we are consuming more than the hunter-gatherer people.
Fair.
So how should we exercise? And he says we have developed to exercise in a couple of ways. One of them is community-driven. So,
I'll play that. I love community things, yeah.
Yeah, so, we're used to sort of gathering the berries, with a bunch of people with us and gossiping about the village people. That's what we've evolved to do.
I had a community sport experience this week.
Oh, what was that?
I was in my local park in Campsie, and I saw some Asian ladies dancing with swords. And I went over and I said, I like your dancing very much. And she looks at me and she's like, I'm not fucking dancing. This is exercise. And I'm like, Tai Chi, yeah. And she's like, yes, Tai Chi.
Chinese, yeah.
And there was 5 ladies in the Campsie Park, and every morning they get out there at 10, and they all community get together and they use swords, and they learn off YouTube, and the oldest lady is 92.
Oh, fantastic.
And they do such cool Tai Chi, they move really nicely, but I don't think I'm old enough or Chinese enough to go and join their group. So
you can always join the group. Chinese people have the best community exercise.
Japanese do too.
I'm sure they do.
They have on the radio, the whole country stops twice a day, and they do this specific dance.
Fantastic.
And I used to do it. Now, quickly before it goes off the bottom, did you know, Lucy, that treadmills were once torture devices for prisoners?
Oh my God.
And Harrelson says, also stage props for a Ramstein show. I've seen them on treadmills during the Ramstein show.
Really?
It's cool, yeah, very cool.
Are they playing what are they doing on the treadmill?
Walking, playing the keyboard, walking on the thing.
What a nightmare.
Community sport, right? 10,000 people watching them do exercise.
Oh my God.
It's a good way to do it. Imagine if your work...
But the energy of being on stage is already burning so much.
Guess what? They can eat whatever they want that day. They can go non-stop KFC.
Non-stop KFC.
They can go 12 secret herbs and spices. 14 even. Why not? Go crazy.
It's the energy to orgy ratio.
Don't insult Asian ladies with swords. I would never.
No, I
love them. I made a mistake. The energy to orgy ratio. So I saw this that we dedicate our energy to the 4 Fs.
The 4 Fs.
Yeah, which is feeding, fighting, fleeing, yeah, and procreating. So,
are you guys having fun? Meow is very funny.
I think we're having a good one. Yesterday there was a power cut, and everyone in the home left their phones, came together and talked to each other and had a good time. But when current came on again, everyone is there with their phones. During COVID, that's probably a bad thing if we want to be like all talking to each other. I think. But as long as everyone was being safe and was wearing masks, it's a good thing. But also, people have been ignoring each other for fucking ever. Like, we pretend like now that we have these phones, we don't interact. But I see photos. You've seen these photos from like
of people on the bus with newspapers. So,
and then back like 12,000 years ago, stone tablets. I reckon they were just like
people didn't want to talk. They were reading stone tablets.
Sorry, Lucy. I've got this very important cuneiform document I have to read. Yeah,
that's right. The keyboardist uses the treadmill because he can't run around on the stage as the others. That's right. 'Cause the keyboard's got to stay there, right?
Now we need to add next week some little fun things so that when you push... I was watching someone else's Twitch stream, and when they do it, they've got like little buttons and you give it money and it explodes with confetti and
so fun.
all these things.
I still miss those old days of school because I got promoted from my school without even getting a good farewell, no events. Oh, right, yeah. The community culture is really gone now.
We've got a community culture now.
But we have a lovely little community with you guys. Thank you again for joining in. So happy.
But I think when we're moving more into these online spaces, especially with COVID, it's really forced that evolution of us hanging out in virtual spaces. And like, how have you found hanging out in virtual spaces? Have you done much of it during the pandemic?
For sure, yes, I have. I love it. It's definitely a pro about quarantining and about COVID. Very glad to meet you guys from India. I love it. It's really made spaces more accessible for people. You know, if you're living far away, you'd have a lot of money to live in that area, so it's hard for you to get there.
Also, if you have like physical disability, or if you have social phobia,
or chronic illness, or social phobia.
That's it. You're able to meet and be on the same. Which I think, if we normalize this as a way of like having a party with 20 people jump online, I think that's really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Although you and I, we're extroverted and we're very social. I don't really have a lot of social anxiety. I don't think you do either.
No.
You're like,
No.
Never heard of social anxiety. Never heard of them. I very rarely. I do sometimes get social anxiety, but very rarely. Usually when there's, or it used to be when there were cute boys around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine is when I speak in front of people I really care about. So when I speak,
you care about their opinion of you?
Yeah. It's only happened a few times. So once I was... The most nervous I've ever been to speak was in Las Vegas. It was my first time speaking internationally.
At the con, the...
DEF CON. Standing in front of a little podium, and I had to hold on because my legs were shaking so much. Really?
Oh.
I didn't feel nervous.
Fair enough.
I was like, oh, holy shit, I'm actually speaking in a different country.
Yeah.
And these people are probably going to arrest me.
And they might arrest you.
It was nerve-wracking.
But I feel like you would have loved that whole, like, the wild, like, the danger.
Halfway through, I relaxed a little bit.
Yeah,
But I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say, I think if I could go back again, I would give a very different presentation now. So
just thinking about a couple of times that I did. So because I don't have a lot of social anxiety, I also put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable because I want to try and be a better person. So that leads to me, you know, to singing in Chinese in front of 500 people, that sort of thing, you know, where I do feel like, ugh. And I just was thinking about, as you were talking a couple of times when I have been socially anxious, and one of the, and my body started doing weird things. So I had one where my head started shaking.
You know that's actually like a nod in India, I think.
Yeah, Pranav, this is the yes, isn't it?
I think it's a yes, or it's somewhere in between.
I think this is yes.
What does this say?
Pranav? That is fried. What's the second one?
Touching snakes.
I need to hold on. Let me just write it.
Was that touching snakes? Makes you anxious?
It's got the fire symbol.
Oh, what? Oh, you can like.
Yes.
What is this?
Yes, I can write the...
Is that fry?
Hold on, that's a small character. I'm going right
Yeah,
in.
nod. So there's a nod in India.
Oh man, why'd you have to use that character? That's so hard.
Is it?
Look how many strokes there are. Oh.
Snakes are treated like gods in India. Wow. Oh, you seemed anxious when you touched the snakes on the show. That's right, I remember this.
Chow mein. Ah, there we go. Fried noodles.
Fried noodles, chow mein.
Chow mein.
My mum calls it chow mein.
That's very Aussie. That's very
Chow,
Aussie.
chow mein.
Yes, I was so
Yeah,
anxious.
chow mein.
You're right, Stephen. And in fact, that's why I was also like, bring the snakes over. Be uncomfortable in a safe enough space. You don't want to be uncomfortable in a dangerous space, but yeah, I think we worship snakes.
there's a reptile expo on this weekend that I'm very excited to go
bet
to.
you are.
So I will hopefully end this weekend with some more animals.
Fantastic.
I think I want to get a.
Is your partner going with you?
Yes.
Great.
Sarah is coming.
Can you buy reptiles at the
You can.
expo?
I would like.
Oh, you guys are so gonna buy some new stuff.
I want a mate for my little baby snake. I want 2 marble children's pythons. I want a goanna. I want another sand monitor.
Wow.
I want. That's probably good for now.
How are you gonna fit these? Oh my god, it's
I've got one
crazy.
spare tank. I've got
One spare tank to put them all in, and you're just like battle it out. Whoever
Snakes and
lives
cows
is
are treated as
fine.
gods. I wonder why why are snakes treated? I've heard of cows being treated as gods in India, but have you ever heard of snakes being treated like
I
gods?
didn't realise that, Brenna. Yeah, I knew about cows.
Really cool.
Snakes.
Because normally people hate snakes.
Yeah. they're not popular.
Everybody loves cows.
I think that the Christian ideology, like, coming from England to America and Australia, like, has really dominated the whole
devil.
snake theology.
But like everybody likes cows. Everybody eats cows except for Hindus because they love them too much, right? No one eats pigs because they're dirty, but the Hindus love the cows so much they don't eat them. But everyone else loves them so much that they eat them. Like
yeah.
no one's like, I'm not going to eat cow because it's not tasty.
Right.
Or that it's dirty. But with pigs, which everyone's like, no, can't eat pigs. Jews can't eat pigs. Muslims can't eat pigs. Do you know about Discordianism?
Discordianism?
It's a joke religion, and they have a rule that you have to break. You have to break every religion, including Discordianism. Now, Discordianism comes out of Greek mythology.
So it's Discord.
Discord.
Okay,
They worship the goddess Eris, who is the god of chaos, and Aphrodite and Athena, so goddess of beauty and love, were having a fight at one of the gods' feast nights to find out who was the most beautiful. Oh no, they were having dinner, and then Eris wasn't invited because she's a god of chaos. No one wants to bring her to a party. So she made a golden apple that said Callisti, which meant to the most beautiful one.
Oh, I think I've heard this story.
And then rolled it into the room and just left. She's like, I don't want to come to your party.
What a great fun.
And then Athena and
I
Aphrodite
love
are
that. What a
fighting.
treat.
And they ask Zeus, who's the most beautiful one? You know what he says?
I've forgotten what happens.
Helen of Troy.
Helen of
human.
Troy. That's right.
Boom, and that started the Trojan War.
Trojan War.
Now,
Man's dead.
in Discordianism, you have to eat a hot dog once a year on a Friday. Why?
Why?
Because no red meat.
Yeah.
Catholicism on a Friday. No pork. That's Christianity, Judaism and Islam. No meat, Buddhism, and no hot dog buns, which is Discordianism.
No hot dog, which is
Because at the party they were eating hot dogs.
It's
So you're not
defying all of
so you're not allowed to eat hot dog buns if you're a Discordian, except once a year, in which case you have to break it. Oh, and no eating beef. Because because a hot dog has all the meats, it insults every religion, including itself.
including itself.
Yeah, there you go.
And so, would you say that you're anti-theist or atheist?
I would
Agnostic?
say I am, at the moment, transhumanism is a philosophy, but I think I'm a transhumanist deist. I think I want to create.
Transhumanist deist.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is create a god. Create an
God.
AI god.
An AI god.
And then upload my brain.
Are they benevolent?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? There's actually an episode. There's an episode of Voyager in the first or second season of Star Trek where they come up with where they send people who are alive. They kill them and they send them to the afterlife.
Hey Patrick, PPT, does that stand for PowerPoint presentation?
Patrick Palmer Thomas, PPT. I'm just gonna play a quick video by PPT. PPT, I'm invited on the show, and he should come. He is
Is he a
comedian.
PowerPoint presentation?
He could be. He would make a very entertaining PowerPoint presentation.
Pranav, I know, where's Deadpool? Deadpool said that he would sign on again, but I don't know where he is. Yeah, he was fun as well. Yes, PPTX.
Patrick Palmer Thomas show. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Okay, so
now
I'm
it's got
gonna
your
play
profile,
this
Patrick.
for the screen. Hopefully my volume works. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do something fun. Can I just get you to take this for a second?
Yes.
I am going to actually stop PPTX.
Imagine
Okay.
you're just like, oh, what's a PPT stand for? You're like, PowerPoint presentation.
That's it,
What a
that's
boss
it,
move, Patrick.
that's
You should
it.
say that.
So we're gonna Instagram.com, and then I'm gonna bring up PPT here, and I'll put it in,
into the Twitch screen.
and we can watch the. I should do the meditation comedy bit.
comedian,
Okay,
Patrick.
so we're gonna put volume on now. We'll just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna see whether we can hear the sound. We can. Oh, we cannot.
No, we
So I'm gonna turn
cannot.
the speakers up. 1 second. Open sound volume mixer. Okay. The speakers are here. So can you still hear us? Yep. You should be able to still hear us. Now I'm going to switch this on.
All right, and I'm going to read your comment here, Olsen. I'm sure that a sophisticated enough AI can't really have malicious intentions. It would be aware that we could simulate its inputs, so it can never be sure that after eradicating all humans, the screen wouldn't turn black and simulation end appears. I hope my English makes sense. No, it absolutely makes sense. Well done. But maybe it doesn't care about whether or not it lives or dies because it's an AI. Maybe it doesn't have emotions about that. Maybe it doesn't mind if it dies. Or if the program
Can you
ends.
guys still hear us fine? Just making sure. Okay, I'm just gonna stick it up here because it's even easier and the sound works. But highly recommend, Patrick, if you want to drop your Instagram in, please.
A link to your PowerPoint.
Here we go. Are we ready? Okay. I'm gonna move the microphone over here so that we can watch. Okay. The Patrick Palmer Thomas show. This is my favorite video. This is a crypto video. Are we ready?
Crypto video. I'm not seeing this.
Boom. You heard it here, guys. That's it. That's actually been
Wow.
when I was crypto bro. I was
That's
crypto bro for a while.
You were like that?
Worse.
Peer-to-peer currency.
He said it all. Yo, do you want to please read?
Okay, yo my bros, what is up? You are watching the digital currency update with me, Krypton Mike. The market is highly volatile right now, so Elon Musk has taken the price of subreddits to the moon. When Satoshi Nakamoto gave privacy encryption to 2018, China went Ethereum. Digital whales peak at day trading, so transfer offline to open source blockchain and third-party your Heath Ledger. Finally, we've lost it. L1 Hub and that buy button. My name is Krypton Mike, and you've been listening to the Digital Currency Update. Turn off crypto, CTRO Mike. Fuck, Mom, I don't. No, I don't. No, it's a peer-to-peer currency. Just invest. Mom, just trust. I got this. I don't know what. It's decentralized. There's no centralization of the money.
You heard it here second. I think we should get Crypto Mike Krypton Mike on the show one day.
Yes, and definitely in character, please.
I would love to hear Krypton Mike's take on NFTs. I'd love to throw some NFTs.
We love
to
talking
Krypton
about
Mike,
NFTs.
and he speaks exactly like the crypto bros.
Yeah, and hold on, Lushess, do you think it? Don't you think it would develop a sense of self-preservation? Even we've done it. I lost the comment.
What is it about?
Wait, can I? I'll just bring it down.
You can't scroll.
Damn it!
On
Can I just?
restream.io. Yeah, look, you can't scroll.
I can't just make the window bigger.
We can just make it a tiny little bit bigger.
Even simple life forms have it. This chat is refreshing. Glad I saw the Facebook post about the stream. Yes, thank you so much, Harrelson.
If you can please repost that comment, it will enable us to look. There's some Korean NFTs.
I used to be able to read Korean.
NFTs. Non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
I want to make some fungible tokens.
I want to make some fungi.
Non-fungi tokens. Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should do it. I'm gonna.
Who can code some tokens for us? Can you?
I can create some tokens.
Yeah.
You know what you can do? You can just, if you don't give a fuck about Ethereum, you can just make them on the test net.
The test net.
It's monopoly money that operates the same as. So basically, you just go and you just ask for Ethereum, and someone just gives you like 10 Ethereum.
Oh.
But it's on a separate network.
Okay.
But all the rules are exactly the same.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But you can just
like testing.
But I'm like, well, if it's indistinguishable from Ethereum, why doesn't everyone just invest in the testnet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so you can play Crypto Kitties by just going on the testnet. And then,
crypto kitties.
Yeah, you just make your own crypto cats from
Cool.
for free. You can go buy them.
Why not?
Yeah.
And Pranav, I'm learning Korean because you're a BTS fan.
What is BTS? I'm missing this pop culture reference.
What is it? What does it stand for? But it's the Korean boy band BTS. They have a couple of songs, and I was actually into K-pop like way before everybody else was. Like way before Psy.
I think I hated K-pop long before everyone else did.
Everyone.
I was like, what is this?
Like
I went to listen.
Bangtan Son Yeondan.
Bulletproof Boys.
Bulletproof Boys. It's a Bangtan Boys, a 7-member South Korean boy band.
7 members?
Yeah, no, you haven't seen them?
You can't have boy bands with more than 5.
Oh my god, Super Junior has like 12. Okay, so I've been to two
That's not
K-pop
a band.
two K-pop concerts in Sydney before Psy brought K-pop to the mainstream. And I just wanted to say, Pranav, I also studied a semester of Korean because of K-pop. So similar to you, how awesome that soft power is influencing the world in such a way that it's bringing Korean culture to Western, youth.
Yeah.
And then they're wanting to learn the language like I did. And my Korean department at university was really smart. So they made one of our assignments. They knew the power of K-pop culture. They made one of our assignments to sing a K-pop song.
Really?
And a lot of our content was K-pop. I don't remember which.
There you go, Lucy.
I don't remember. I wish I did. I'd love to sing it.
You guys remember. Okay, you know when people are trying to learn a different accent, or they're trying to speak in a different accent, they have like a phrase.
Yes, and then they launch into
That's it. So like, and they'll have the thing. So like, if I wanted to speak like in a Jamaican accent, I say the word like, bacon. I say beer can.
Beer can.
Like a can of beer.
Oh, yeah.
I have this thing that you say the phrase and it gets, and then you can just speak it, right? But maybe, right? Maybe you need just the first line and then you'll be like,
안녕하세요, 사랑해요. I don't know. Hey Pranav, 사랑해요, 사랑해.
Okay, so if you had a boy band, how many members would you have?
Honestly, Super Junior was tight.
Super Junior with 12?
Yeah, they were tight.
Well,
so
Eminem did it first. He had D12, right?
Yeah.
Did they have 12?
But if they were instrumentalists...
no, they were all singers.
They were all singers.
D12 was, what did D12
like
do?
a rap group?
Yeah. It was basically all of Eminem's friends, and he didn't want to be like famous without them. So he made a band which had just them. There was only one dude who was weird in it. Hip hop group D12.
Oh, did you become a K-pop fan when Gangnam Style launched? No, before, like years before that. In fact, I saw SHINee when all the members were still alive. Sad note.
Pouring
anyway.
out for my homies.
Yeah.
Oh no, you'd get the Korean plum wine and pour that onto the ground, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe there is 12. I think there's actually 12 of them.
Wow, okay.
But not anymore.
Bringing
Some
it
of them
back.
died. Rapper Proof was not a bulletproof boy. She was actually shot and killed.
Well, he was not a bulletproof
BT,
boy.
couldn't become a member of BTS.
He
I wouldn't call myself bulletproof and then become a famous star.
No, it's badass. It's badass.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I would call myself like, I'd tempt fate. I'd call myself like the lightning proof boy band. And just be like, you know what? God smite me down. If you have a sense of humour, come and get me. Bizarre's dead. Oh, Bizarre was a good one. Oh, here's the members. Bugs, his death. Proof, his death. Eminem's still alive. Swifty McVeigh. That sounds...
Oh, so this was like a rap group. Okay. Yeah.
Also, speaking of groups of people that died, I watched this TV show. Really good. Science fiction. Babylon 5.
Okay.
But the show was cursed.
Oh.
Half the members, half the people acting in it.
The cast.
Half the people acting in it died.
Huh. This is on Netflix?
It's called the Babylon 5 Curse. There's actually, I think there's a I think there's a scientific, no, Babylon 5 isn't on Netflix. It's way too cool for that.
Oh.
It's very, very,
way too cursed.
highly recommend watching it, but yeah, it's cursed.
Oh.
A lot of people, I didn't plug in my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, look, we'll go for another 5 minutes anyway, and then...
If I can find the power.
Yeah, otherwise we might come out of power.
I think the power's just down there, Lucy.
Oh my, it's blocked by glass. We cannot...
We might have to... Let's say goodbye now, just in case my computer runs out of power before I plug it in.
But we've been going for, since 7:30, so an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us, Pranav. Thank you for signing back in this week. It's really nice to have your company again.
Yeah, let's, oh no, here we go, we've got one here.
Yeah?
Let's, I think we might have to,
Oh, it's going to be 4:30 p.m. here at tea time. What tea will you have, Pranav? Will you have chai? I had lots of chai.
What I've been drinking?
Here. What have you been having?
Oolong.
Oolong?
Highland Oolong. From the Highlands of China. It's so good. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was actually shit tea. But I got one of those tea
You will
kettles.
have chai, yes.
Chai.
Yes.
What do you make your chai yourself? Do you put all of the
Pranav, ginger chai is my favorite.
Is it? I think vanilla chai is
Can you send me some chai? Ginger chai.
Well, we should get a post box.
I think I had a spiritual experience in India.
A lot of people do.
I went to a hostel and a lady in India made ginger chai for me and I drank it and I think I ascended.
Really? Reached nirvana?
Oh, ginger chai. It took me there. Yes, it was the best thing ever.
I actually have an activity for us to do.
Okay.
I started making my own photographic paper.
Photographic paper?
Yeah. I've got to do it. I have to do it during the day though.
Okay.
It's very cool.
No worries. When will you ever have time in the day?
Well, guess what? I left the paper out and it all developed itself.
Ah.
So.
Cool.
Maybe she just added the secret spices.
Maybe she did, Helson.
Yeah, that's it. 3 drops of LSD. Boom, boom, boom. 1,200 micrograms of chai straight into your pineal gland.
Oh, so good. I really did.
I was like, what's that?
I really did feel enlightened. Like,
really?
I've got to say, I was like, I like a spirit guide entered my brain and was like, you must have more ginger. And
really?
For like healing and stuff. Yeah.
Ginger's good like that.
Ginger, yeah, it's the best.
Ginger in chicken sweet corn soup. Ginger, amazing.
Really?
The other thing I've been making Vietnamese beef noodle soup. Pho, right? I stick the onions and the ginger under my grill, and I just roast the shit out of it. I want like charcoal on the outside. Scrape that charcoal off. Chuck it in with 5 kilos beef bones, 10 kilos of beef bones. Cook that. I eat it every single day. But ginger,
so healthy.
Keep adding that ginger and garlic. Just 2 whole heads of garlic in there.
Oh, the Kardashians also have bone broth every day.
So
you and the Kardashians, you know what's going on.
Basically, they've proven no matter how much money you have, what you really want is soup.
Yeah, bone broth for real. It's so healthy.
If you have so much money, you never have to work again. What do you spend your time doing? Drinking soup.
Making the broth.
That's it.
All right, let's row our way out of this stream.
Okay. Which side are you on? I'm gonna go this side.
Oh, we're rowing.
That's it. Are you at the front or are you at the back? Or are we sitting next to each other?
Side.
I don't know if we can do that. Do you like canoeing?
I do enjoy a good canoe.
I do. Kayak?
Yes, kayak. I love a good kayak.
I get sore on the inside of here.
Oh, really?
Because I push myself too much. I've got the ADHD. I just want to go really fast.
I enjoy the stretch. You want to go really fast?
Yeah.
But it's an endurance thing.
It's an endurance thing. It's just
is.
you got to get the rhythm. And I'm like, no,
So
I literally lift the front of my kayak out of the water because I'm like, bam, 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 and then I'm like exhausted in the middle of the river.
Yes. All right, check out the movie Midsummer. It's a folk horror film. Lots of interesting spices and tripping. Oh, Stephen, I started to watch that. That's actually a really disturbing film.
Really?
If you're, it's like apparently it's amazing. But there are some scenes at the beginning, and I think throughout the film, I actually ended up watching the YouTube like summary of it because
Really?
it has some incredibly disturbing scenes. Yeah.
Wow.
Before we go, Village Sky Lizard, what a beautiful question. What a beautiful name. Hello.
We're plugged in, so we can go for a little bit longer. Let's stick around.
We can?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I'm going to share a sign that I learned this week in Auslan. I'm going there now. Goals.
Goals.
Ready? An Australian Sign Language.
He's got his left hand.
Like this.
The right hand is
You
it
look-
touching
you
the
look-
front
look-
or the side?
Or this.
We're missing the
but-
goal.
Yeah, on the side of your finger, goals. So
Goals.
my dominant hand is my right hand.
Goals.
So I use my right hand to approach my left. Goals.
I
boom,
love that.
goal.
Goals, guys. I want you to reach your goals.
That's it.
Yeah.
What are your dreams and goals? Top 3.
Oh, top 3.
Dreams and goals.
Dreams and goals. I want to release my Chinese written music in China.
Mm-hmm.
That's a goal of mine.
Yeah.
I want to also just generally release my music in Australia.
Yeah.
I want to record these 5 or 6 other songs that I have sitting around. Oh God, they're all very music based, aren't
That's okay.
they?
You got 3. That's 3 goals. Now make 3 dreams.
Okay. The dreams are that people receive the music well.
There we go. That is also very music based.
It's all about music. Well, you know why? Because I constantly write goals lists, and I've actually narrowed it down to these things.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is why I know. I'd like the music to be received well, and I'd like to be able to continue to make more. God, how simple am I?
What's the difference? Interesting.
What's the difference?
In releasing music in Australia between dreams and goals.
What do you
I
think?
think dreams are overarching and dreams are things I want to have happen. Goals are things I want to make happen. But for me, they're actually quite the same a lot of the time because I don't want other people to do stuff. Whenever I see a problem, I'm like, I need to solve that.
Why you?
Because I think if everyone says someone should solve that, but nobody says me, it never gets done. And that's why I end up doing all the crazy shit I do is because I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to be the person, right? I'm going to take personal responsibility over that thing that needs to be changed.
I love that because a lot of people are critics of others and be like, oh, they should have done it this way.
Yeah.
Or Lushess and Meow, your podcast is a bit dodgy. Like, it's not a great screen. Like, you don't have many in-chat functions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at least we're doing it.
Well,
You know
any
what I
super
mean?
fans want to change that, be that person. So my dreams and goals, boom, end aging and death. So cure all death and I consider aging a disease. So
Aging and death.
cure all disease.
Yes.
Move off the planet, living permanently in space and on other planets.
Far out.
Total molecular control over time and space. That's like 3 dreams and goals. That's exactly the
Fusion
same.
in there?
That's under total molecular control of time and space.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that. God, I feel
Because
like an
I
idiot
said,
now.
what would I like to do in my lifetime? If I could do anything, right? if I had the ability to do anything, what would I do? And I thought those things are the things that I care about and will do the most good.
Yeah.
But I would love to live in space. I would love to be able to. My immediate goals. I want to do a new degree that no one's ever done before. I actually called a university, UNSW, today and asked them, please give me my own faculty, and I will start a new degree. You can do a Bachelor of Planetary Engineering.
Wow.
So what about if you could take Venus or Mars and be like, I want it to look like this?
Yes.
And everyone wants it to look like Earth. Nah, bro.
Wow.
What about if you could do Mars, but it's a ball pit?
It's a ball pit.
No one thinks about like. Everyone's so like, oh, I just want to make it like Earth.
We're
I
all
want
so
to put a
basic.
flag. So basic.
So basic.
Make it fun.
Make it fun.
Make it out of cake.
Make it out of cake.
You know, everyone wants to make that hand that looks like a cake, a phone that looks like a cake, or a cake that looks like a phone.
But terraforming, that's the hardest thing, isn't it?
Well, not for those cake people. They can make a very realistic cake, right? You've all seen the cakes. You've seen you've seen them, haven't you? They have like the arm, and it's like perfect, right? And then they just cut into it. You're like, no, that was cake. Yeah.
And the dog, have you guys seen the little dog videos? It's like a short video. And it's like, it's such a cute puppy. And then they like cut it and it's a cake.
Imagine the year is 2024. Elon Musk lands on Mars, but it's not. It's fucking cake. Imagine his face. He fucking puts it down. He goes to put his flag in, and it just sinks into spongy deliciousness. Pulls it up, licks the chocolate icing off the cake, the red. Oh, mate, sucked in Elon.
What a trip. Sometimes I think that my Patrick PowerPoint presentation, sometimes
Triple
I think
O, bring
my
the
dreams
emergency.
goals are out there. It's reassuring to hear yours. Thank
What
you
are
so
you,
much.
what are your dreams and goals?
Yeah, because we got a little bit deep. I was like, my music, because I don't have the brain to do all this science stuff, so I've got to stick to what I'm good at. I'd
Very
like
important.
the ethics around sexual and romantic communication to be better, understand by everyone, but especially men and boys, contentious.
I think
I
it's
love that
really important.
too.
I think
That's
this
cool.
would be great. So you guys are musicians,
And scientist. So yeah, musician, scientist, and I'm sure you.
This is sign language for science. And then
I thought we were just miming.
microscope. It's basically the same, right?
That's
That's
really
microscope,
that's
yeah.
how you do it. Isn't that cool? Village Sky Lizard. What about you? Are you a lizard or
A village?
Or are you a sky?
Or a village in the sky with a lizard, or a village filled with lizards from the sky.
Yes.
I'm going
yeah.
that. I'm going that.
I know.
Give us your best scientist expression.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm meow, so I'm like.
Yeah. It's not impression, expression. You're gonna say something sciencey.
If you were to imitate me, what would you be like? You'd be like, oh my god.
I'm fun bien, but I'm not pretty enough, so it doesn't work, right? I'm fun bien. Impression. Okay, best scientist. My best scientist expression. I would say that if I wanted to sound like a scientist, I would say, well, according to the central dogma of genetics, that DNA creates RNA, creates protein. That's all you have to say, right? Central dogma of genetics. That sounds like you know what you're talking about. And everyone's like, oh, RNA, I know that. That's like the vaccine, right? DNA,
Yes.
I know what that. So,
I'd be like, don't ask questions. I have to get back to the lab.
bam, that's it.
But okay, if you were to imitate a musician, what would you do?
Well, I was interested in the 3/5, but I realized I was in the wrong octave. So I spoke to my friend, and he's out there, right? He loves jazz. Here's a 7B diminished 3/4 4 in 7/14 time. I'm not kidding. That's my best musician impression. What do you reckon? Is that
I could think it's an impression of what someone thinks a musician would be like, but really, generally, musicians are just like, dude, we should totally jam sometime. Yeah, we should absolutely jam sometime.
We'll collab?
That would be sick, dude.
Do we collab or do we?
Dude, I would love to collab on this track with you. If you could lay some bars just over the chorus section, that would be awesome. Oh, dude, that sounds sick.
Stephen Morello has impersonated a scientist. How does he go? Give it to me.
Stephen Morello. They use genetic engineering to alter DNA. Sorry, alter human DNA to be able to live on Titan.
Amazing.
Oh man, that's so funny because you know what scientists sound like, and I know what musicians sound like, so that's pretty funny. What a collab! And just say
bars.
jam. Like I would love to jam sometimes.
Jam.
This
There's
is
a
such
specific
a jam.
way to jam because my old flatmates used to jam, and one of them would do something, and the other one would be like, "Look at him." It's like, that's not where we were going with that.
Yeah.
And
You got to be on the level.
I'm like, can't you just go wherever you fucking want? Isn't it a jam? Like,
There's like unwritten rules. It's like there's an unconscious flow you must tap into. No, and I do mean that.
Village
The
Sky
vibe.
Lizard. My vision is to empower millennials to pursue their passion as a career. My mission is to provide content and a framework for millennials that can inspire and realize that it can be possible. So I think there's a big thing about millennials is that since we're never going to own any fucking assets, that we may as well do what we care about.
Yeah.
So I think millennials have been the first generation where we're just like, you know what, accumulation of wealth. We have all this technology. We have YouTube University. We can learn anything. I'm going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be easier for my kids or the people. But in the younger generation to be able to have all the things that I'm never going to be able to have.
Yeah, that's lovely. Well,
On
that's certainly
Mars.
your attitude.
Definitely.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was I was on this account that was being advertised to me, and it was an Instagram account, and it was like about investing, investment properties, and it was like, comment here, like what year you're gonna reach your investment property goal, and I was like, I do not, and there were people who were commenting like, oh, this year or next year, and I was like, I don't relate. What does that mean? What does that mean? I just was like, who are these people? Like, we're not even gonna have properties, global warming, like, you know, we're not gonna have water.
I feel like the people commenting in that thread were Krypton Mike.
Legit,
right?
I was so confused. I didn't
Elon Musk gonna bounce the Dogecoin. They're like, right now, 2021 is the year.
Like, imagine all your focus right now to be on gathering investment properties. Like, who are these people?
I'm with the Hadza of Tanzania. I want 8 hours of relaxation a day. I want 1.5 hours of an excited heart rate as I respond to that comment saying, you all don't know what you're talking about if you think you're getting an investment property.
Like, those properties are going to be impeached upon by the oceans, you know, coming in.
It.
And, you know, the temperatures are going to be too high, so you're not going to be able to live in them. Like, it just blew my mind that people...
It's crazy.
And look, those people are probably going to be very well off very soon, and I won't be. But it really confused me.
Are they, or is all their wealth going to disappear as we overthrow them? Because I think political stability is something which is like fleeting.
Yeah,
and we forget how fleeting it is.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been free for very much of human history. Anyway, Stephen says, it reminds me of the episode where Tuvok loses his ability to control his emotions, and suddenly he likes how swinging jazz is. Another Voyager episode, fantastic.
He likes how swinging jazz is. Jamming is like small talk with instruments. I love that, Harrelson. It's so true.
Can you non-small talk with the instruments as well?
You want a real talk with the instruments.
Real talk with them. I don't want small talk.
When you're deep in the vibe.
And how the weather is.
When you start like showing a bit of vulnerability with your music, and the person's like, I feel that.
That's when you put away
What
the
a
cello and you
vibe.
bring out the double bass. It's a bit serious now, right?
It's more like doing something daring or like risky. Yeah.
Boom.
Patrick PowerPoint presentation, if I come on the show,
That's it.
fingers crossed, I'm going to show my communicator tattoo, my only tattoo.
Boom.
Where that at? Okay.
I want to say.
Such gobbledygook.
I was talking about the movie,
The
Titan.
Titan.
Oh, the
Not
Titan.
really my dream.
I haven't seen the Titan. Also, there's this Attack on Titan TV show, which is like.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. Yeah, it's an anime.
I haven't watched it yet. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Anime Lab, so it's not on Netflix.
Send it to me.
Anime Lab is like it's like another app.
I have
So it's like
I have this app which I can stream everything from for free.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's called pirating. So
Yeah, and get the I think get the Japanese voice version. Don't get the dub version, but it's watch it. It's pretty.
I would
cool.
love to watch this because I'm very, very interested in altering human DNA to allow us to live on other planets. Very, very interested. I want to watch this where they alter human DNA. I've spoken with astrobiologists and biohackers about which genes we would change to live in outer space. And the number one gene, it's called DSUP. DSUP.
DSUP.
It is the gene that repairs DNA that's been radiation damaged. Yeah, there's bacteria that live inside nuclear reactors.
Hold on, I'm just going to bring the focus of the camera. There we go, bringing it
You
back.
can't delete comments on this crazy
it
Twitch thing. I
back.
literally just made an account for this. Fantastic. Okay, if you just made an account, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. When we get enough subscribers, we can make money off this and we'll get promoted more. But we're like not considered like a serious channel until we have a certain amount of people.
At least follow us, please.
If you wanted to share our stream or with your friends and say, please get them to come across, even if they just click subscribe when we're not broadcasting, when we do go on, it will let them know, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
The Titan is about altering human DNA so humans can live on Titan. So what would we be like if we can live on Titan? Titan's cool. It's very, very big. It's a moon that is absolutely gigantic. It's a moon of Saturn.
Oh, okay.
And it's covered in hydrocarbons. It's covered in petrol, basically. And it's got a very thick atmosphere.
Just set it on fire like that burning pit.
Americans are like, Titan needs some freedom. We're going to go and liberate Titan, right? And it's very, very small, so you can, if you made wings out of cardboard, you can fly on Titan.
Wow, that sounds
How
fun.
cool is that? Do you have a Twitch name? So we're using Lushess at the moment, but we're gonna
But we can change
we're gonna
this, yeah. We're gonna
rebrand the
rebrand it.
Facebook, YouTube, and
Yeah.
Twitch channel to have some new name.
Some like
What is-
sci-tech weekly run.
What is I'm curious. What is your why for this stream?
Yeah, great question. We did talk about that in a few streams ago.
Mm.
Our why is to create. Well, I think we've come to an agreement that, or a conclusion that we are creating a scientific, interested community here. You're part of that community now too. We're sharing knowledge. We're sharing information. A lot of people who are interested in innovation sign on, and they offer their own information. So we're all learning from each other.
Yeah.
This is also a great. Thing for us to be able to do each week. Meow and I just personally enjoy doing it as well.
And we actually would. So one of our friends, Nathan, who was on earlier on, I'm not sure if he's still here. He said that Twitch promotes local content more highly. So we were both in the thread and said, "Oh, we'd love to do Twitch stuff." So we knew each other before, and we're like, we should do it together. And one thing that I'm very interested that Lucy does is Lucy has spent time living in China, and speaks Chinese and sings in Chinese. And so we have conversations about technology, about China, about music, but basically we just love streaming. So we thought we'd have an interest channel where we kind of wrap up the week that's happened and talk with you guys about the stuff that that you would like to also talk about, because not everyone gets to talk about all the things that we do. So.
And as you guys can probably tell, we have a lot of excess energy. Why not spend it here?
Do you know the sign language for wake up is?
How do you do it? Do you have to make the noise?
I don't know, because they don't know if the noise is being made, I think, a lot of the time. Yeah, like, open up, yeah.
There's a really sweet TikTok channel where this guy who's deaf says what he thinks different things sound like. So someone will be like pouring water, he'll be like, "What do you think it sounds like?" And then the deaf person will make, and it's very sweet and funny.
That's very cool.
It's very sweet and funny.
China, what is the story?
Right, let's sum up China. What is the story?
What's the story, China?
What's the story? Look, I would just say China is, and I don't know where you're based, Village Sky Lizard, if you're in Australia or not, but...
Why did you go to China? Why were you like, China, that's where I want to go? It's not a super popular choice for people from Australia.
It really isn't for Westerners.
Which is bizarre, considering we are in the middle of Asia in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Like we're...
I personally was just been interested since my youth in China. It being, China's on the news almost every night. It has been for the last 10 years.
And
I wanted to know...
Israel and Palestine, but no one's like, I'm going to Israel, Palestine, right?
I think there's a lot of danger there.
A little bit.
Whereas, I think China is incredibly safe. And so I was interested in this place that is constantly being talked about as influencing the rest of the world, and why everyone was, wanting to instead travel to Europe and America and New Zealand for holidays, but no one wanted to go to China. And so I also enjoyed that, people, I didn't know as much about it and that people didn't, so I wanted to go there and learn about it myself.
Sense of adventure.
They're real adventure.
Yeah.
In fact, China is so far ahead in technology. There's a sci-fi element to it that I love. And I find as well, Chinese people are incredibly friendly and patient. So when you're learning the language in another country, perhaps people would get impatient with you. But Chinese people are incredibly patient.
Hate teaching you French.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Chinese people, you can sit there and be like, what the is and they'll be like, just incredible. They're just lovely. So it's a nice place to go to learn a language.
If you say croissant wrong, they just hit you with a French stick. A baguette, if you will.
A baguette materializes out of nowhere and they smack you with it.
On the head.
But I think also China is the real seat of innovation in the world right now as well. I think China's doing really cool stuff. Yeah. Okay. So I think we actually should start to wrap it up. Because,
also, on that note, we'd love to hear your feedback about this setup. So we have an incredibly fast upload speed at this place. There is a cost involved for us to rent out this space that Lucy and I are going halves in, but it's not cheap. But it is very cool that we get a nice microphone.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about whether we want to get our own streaming setup or whether we want to just rent a space.
Yeah.
Which both of them have pros and cons.
Yeah.
Great setup, sounds
it's
good.
So good to know, Stephen.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Can you hear the humming of my fan? Have a tip option. If everyone subscribes, we totally can. What a minimal, fantastic. Okay, yeah, sweet. If we need to, I can turn down the gain of the mic. That's fantastic.
Tip
So you went
option.
there as a long holiday, or was there a job offering?
Oh yes, so I'll answer that quickly. So I went there as a long study trip. Perhaps just I wanted to live there for as long as possible. My visa lasted for a year, and then I had to return. So and I paid my own way there. I didn't get a scholarship. Yeah, so no job, not holiday, just to live there. I wanted to live in China. Yeah,
Fantastic.
loved living there too.
Maybe after COVID, we can go and live stream from China.
Oh,
do you
what a
reckon?
dream! That would be so
That's
cool.
it. Go Beijing, Shanghai.
Yeah, maybe then to Kunming or somewhere.
So I'm obsessed with yum cha. Every week I try and learn a new dish name.
Cool. What have you learned this week?
I forget its name. I'll remember it next week. So my
Okay.
one from last week was it's Cantonese though.
Uh-huh.
Ha chung fan, and it means
Something rice.
it's a rice noodle. Steamed vermicelli roll is literally the translation, but it's prawn. And the other one I have is sima ha, and that is like a prawn toast.
Prawn toast.
It's like a prawn toast thing. I don't know, but I know all the names now. So when I go in, they're like, oh, here's that white boy who speaks, who knows all the names of dishes in Chinese. My girlfriend and I are just like bah, 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 just barking orders at them for all the stuff we want. And last week was the first week that ha gao and siu mai. I learned how to make siu mai.
Wow. That's
It's
good
actually not that
stuff.
hard,
Ooh.
and it's delicious. And my other favorites are dumplings,
Dumplings, of course.
xiaolong bao, and then there's these weird little fried beef things that I'm in love with at the moment. So anyway,
All right. We
awesome.
shall continue next week.
We'd love when we get enough subscribers, we'll definitely open up tips. But maybe we can just see if some people want to just donate some to help us go.
So subscribers are the paid option, but followers
right.
are the free option.
That's right. But please
follow us first.
Follow
Yeah.
us. Share our stream if you want. If there's something you want to talk to us about, Stephen's great at getting in contact
Send
with us
a
throughout the week.
message, give us a topic. Yeah.
Next week, we'll do some science experiments if I can get it organised. But let us know throughout the week what you'd like to talk about, and we'll do some reading. And I have a bit more time now, which is really good. The past few weeks have been really busy.
Yeah.
But thank you for staying with us.
Thank you so much. We have loved talking to you so much.
And until next week, 7:30 local time. On Tuesday, we'll see you. But until then, thank you very much for tuning in, guys.
Thank you so much, you guys.